as a telephone user-worked crossing. This is a crossing where the safety of the driver or the vehicle user depends upon reading the signs and using the telephone. So it's important to understand what the signs are telling you. And you, if you employ drivers or contractors, you'll need to make sure that they fully understand the signs and that it will always be necessary to telephone at this type of crossing, and that this must be done before the gates are opened. You must use the telephone and talk to the signaller to get permission to cross. You need to tell the signaller which crossing you're calling from and how long you need to cross, or what sort of vehicle you're crossing with. When the signaller has confirmed that it's safe for you to cross, then you need to open both gates. Sometimes the signaller may not be able to confirm that it's safe for you to cross at the time that you ring, and he may ask you to ring him back, or he may ring you back if you wait by the telephone. The driver needs to open both gates and fasten them back so that they don't shut as the vehicle's driving over. And having opened both gates and fastened them back, he returns to the vehicle and drives over the crossing. It's important to drive carefully over the crossing and make sure that the vehicle doesn't ground or fall off the crossing surface, both of which can lead to the vehicle being stranded on the line. Having crossed over the crossing with the vehicle, it's important to return and make sure that both gates are shut securely, in particular for the safety of anybody else who wants to come and use the crossing after this vehicle's departed. Once the gates have been shut, generally the driver can be on his way unless the signaller has asked him to ring back and confirm that he's clear of the crossing. So here we see one of the problem areas at these user-work crossings. We see an aerial view of the crossing with the gates, the restraining posts, the signs and the telephones at this telephone crossing, and one of the most dangerous scenarios that can happen, where simply the first gate is opened and the vehicle drives onto the line and sits there. The animation sequence shows the correct sequence that the driver should follow every time after he's used the telephone. The other type of user-work crossing, which is commonly out on the network, and there are around about 800 of these crossings, where the line is straight enough in both directions to provide enough time to make sure there is no train coming before you cross. Follow the instructions, but this time you must take care for your personal safety at all times, because you need to look in both directions every time you cross the railway on foot. So the first thing to do is to open the first gate and fasten it back. But because there is no telephone, the driver needs to stop at a safe distance from the first track and look carefully in both directions, looking and listening to make sure that there isn't a train coming down the line. And just to give an indication of the type of distances involved, the first target is 250 yards away from the crossing, and this provides enough time for a train coming at 25 miles an hour for the driver to get a vehicle across the crossing. The second target is how far away you would need to see the train coming at 60 miles an hour, and that's the view from the actual crossing itself. Having made sure there is no train coming in either direction, the driver then needs to go over and open the second gate, fasten it back, and return to the vehicle. But again, because there is no telephone and there will always be a train approaching, it's vitally important that the driver looks both ways again before crossing back over the line as a pedestrian. Having returned to the vehicle, the driver has to drive the vehicle up to a place sufficiently close to the line to see, and then, looking carefully in both directions, up and down the line, the driver can take the vehicle across. And it's important not to stop until the vehicle's clear of the far gate and clear of the crossing altogether. Then it's important again to remember to look in both directions from a position of safety before walking over and closing the first gate, until finally, for the fourth and last time, stopping again and looking in both directions in order to ensure the driver's personal safety when finally returning to the vehicle and closing the second gate. All in all, the driver will have crossed 4 times on foot and once in the vehicle, and clearly the train, which is next to you on the line, is now a lot closer than when the sequence started. It's important to brief your drivers on the actions to take. when foreseeable abnormal situations arise, such as poor road conditions, snow and ice, or visibility. And you should also consider the type of vehicle, machinery, or loads being taken across the crossing, and plan in advance with the railway how this can be done safely. Cannock also caters for electrical safety matters, general GS6, and work in proximity to power lines and buried services, and the training facility is available to anyone who wishes to use it. You can contact IOSH Rural Industries Group in the first instance, or the Office of Rail Regulation.